Imagine waking up tomorrow and not feeling hungry. Not because you are sick, not because you are dieting, but because your body simply does not need food the way it used to. Now imagine that you have not eaten a single solid meal in 3 weeks. You have not cooked. You have not washed a single dish. And yet you are healthier than you have ever been in your entire life. Now here is the part that will blow your mind. What if I told you that eating 3 meals a day is one of the biggest lies ever sold to humanity? It is not natural. It is not healthy. And within your lifetime, it is going to completely disappear. Stay with me because by the end of this video, you will never look at breakfast, lunch, and dinner the same way again. Here is the central question that nobody seems to be asking. Why 3? Why not 2 meals? Why not 5s? Why not eat only when you are actually hungry? Think about it. No other animal on this planet eats on a schedule. A lion does not check its watch and say, oh, it's noontime for lunch. A deer does not wake up and force itself to eat breakfast. They eat when their body signals hunger and they stop when they are full. So why are we the only species that eats by the clock? The answer is not biology. The answer is history. And that history is about to be rewritten. Let me take you back to the Industrial Revolution. This is where everything changed. Before factories, humans ate when food was available. Sometimes that meant one big meal. Sometimes it meant grazing all day. But when factories started running around the clock, workers needed structure. Breakfast became the fuel up before the shift. Lunch was the quick break to keep energy up. Dinner was the family time after a long day. Schools copied the same model. Children were trained to eat at specific times so they could sit still in class. It was never about health. It was about control and productivity. The food industry saw this as an opportunity. They started pushing the idea that 3 meals were essential. They spent billions on advertising. They paid doctors to say breakfast is the most important meal of the day. They embedded this belief so deep into our culture that nobody questioned it. But here is the twist. What if everything we thought we knew about nutrition was backwards? What if eating less actually makes you live longer? Then something unexpected happened. Researchers started studying intermittent fasting. This is when you compress all your eating into a small window and fast for the rest of the day. And the results were staggering. People who fasted regularly had better focus. They had more stable energy. They slept deeper. Their inflammation dropped. Their cells started repairing themselves. In some studies, they even lived longer. Here is the key. When you constantly eat from morning till night, your body never gets a break. Your digestive system is always working. Your insulin levels stay high. Your cells never get the chance to clean out the waste. But when you fast, your body switches into repair mode. It starts burning fat for fuel. It clears out damaged cells. Your brain produces new neurons. You literally become sharper. Some experts believe this could be one of the most powerful health interventions we have ever discovered. But others are more cautious. They point out that long-term studies are still limited. They warn that fasting is not for everyone. Pregnant women, growing children, and people with certain medical conditions might actually be harmed by it. So while the evidence is exciting, it is not yet settled science. And that is exactly why this debate is so important. Now let me paint you a picture of the future. Imagine a typical morning in the year 2050. You wake up and you do not walk to the kitchen. You do not open the fridge. You do not crack eggs or make toast. Instead, you grab a small bottle from your bedside table. It contains a perfectly balanced nutritional shake tailored to your body's exact needs for the day. You drink it in 30 seconds. You feel full. You feel energized. You are ready to go. No cooking. No cleaning. No wasted time. Now imagine your office. There is no break room with vending machines and microwaves. There are small stations where you can grab personalized nutrition packs. You eat when your wearable device tells you your blood sugar is dipping. You eat exactly what your body needs in that moment. Not because the clock says 12. Not because everyone else is eating. Because your biology asked for it. This is not science fiction. The technology for this already exists today.
In fact, companies like Soylent and Huel are already selling meal replacements that thousands of people use every single day. And wearable devices that track blood sugar in real time are already on the market. They are expensive now, but prices are dropping fast. If current trends continue, these tools will be cheap and everywhere within 20 years. Now here is a real experiment that will surprise you. In 2020, a group of researchers in the United States conducted a study on time-restricted eating. They took a group of healthy adults and asked them to eat all their meals within an 8-hour window. The rest of the day they fasted. After just 12 weeks, the results were remarkable. The participants lost body fat without changing what they ate. Their blood pressure dropped. Their cholesterol improved. Their insulin sensitivity increased. They reported better sleep and more energy during the day. This was not an extreme diet. This was simply changing when they ate not what they ate. And it worked. Studies like this are popping up all over the world. In Japan, researchers found similar benefits. In Europe, the same pattern emerged. The evidence is growing, but it is still early. Some researchers caution that longer studies are needed. They point out that we do not yet know the long-term effects of fasting for decades. But the early results are promising enough that major health organizations are starting to take notice. But here is the one consequence almost nobody talks about. What happens to our culture? What happens to family dinners? What happens to celebrations and festivals and holidays? Food is at the center of almost every human gathering. Diwali, Christmas, Eid, Thanksgiving, birthdays, weddings. All of these revolve around eating together. And that will never disappear. People will still gather around food for special occasions. But the everyday routine will shift dramatically. You will still enjoy that big feast with your family on Sunday. You will still have sweets during festivals. You will still share a meal with your partner on date night. But these will become experiences. They will be intentional. They will not be obligations. You will not eat because you have to. You will eat because you want to. And that makes the whole experience 1,000 times more meaningful. Picture this. A grandmother in her 80s is cooking her last family meal. Her grandchildren are watching her with curiosity. They have never seen anyone chop vegetables before. They have never smelled garlic frying in oil. They ask her what she is doing, and she says, "I am making something called curry." They ask, "What does it taste like?" and she smiles and says, "You will find out soon." They take their first bite, and their eyes go wide. They have never experienced anything like this. That moment becomes a memory they will carry for the rest of their lives. That is what food can be when it is rare and special. That is the world we are heading towards. Now let me show you some snapshots of what homes will look like. Imagine walking into a kitchen in the future. There is no giant refrigerator. There is no oven. There is no microwave. There is a small countertop device that mixes personalized nutrition drinks and a small drawer with snack packs. The kitchen is tiny because nobody cooks anymore. Now imagine children in the future. They grow up without ever seeing their parents cook. They never learn how to chop vegetables or boil rice. They think food comes from a machine. They ask their grandparents what bread tasted like. The grandparents describe sitting down to a table with warm bread and butter, and the children are confused. Why would you waste so much time? Why would you eat something that was not perfectly tailored to your body? This is the world we are heading towards. It will feel strange to us. But to them, it will feel completely normal. Just like we do not miss hunting our own food or churning our own butter. They will not miss cooking 3 meals a day. Empty kitchens will become the new normal. The smell of fresh bread will become a nostalgic memory. The sound of sizzling oil will be something they only hear in historical documentaries. This is not a dystopia. It is simply evolution. But it is also a loss. And we need to be honest about that loss. Now let us talk about something that might surprise you. What if the food industry fights back and actually wins? They have the money. They have the political power. They have the marketing machines. They could create new products that mimic the benefits of fasting while keeping you hooked on their brands. They could engineer foods that give you the feeling of fasting without actually fasting. They could lobby governments to keep traditional meal structures in place. They could fund studies that cast doubt on all of this research. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is how industries have always operated. Tobacco did it. Oil did it. Sugar did it. The food industry will do it too. So the future is not guaranteed. It is a battle between technology and tradition, between health and profit, between convenience and connection. And the outcome depends on us. It depends on what we choose to buy, what we choose to believe, what we choose to demand from our governments and our corporations. Now, if you have made it this far, you are probably thinking one thing. Is this going to happen in my lifetime? The answer is yes. It is already happening right now. Look around you. How many people do you know who skip breakfast? How many people eat a protein bar for lunch? How many people have replaced dinner with a smoothie? The transition is already underway. The only reason it feels gradual is because change always feels slow until it isn't. In the next 10 years, you will see major shifts. Schools will start offering personalized nutrition instead of cafeteria meals. Offices will replace lunch breaks with power naps and nutrition stations. Grocery stores will shrink because people will be buying less food and more supplements. Farmers will switch from mass production to boutique specialty crops for experiences. The entire food economy will flip upside down. And the people who adapt early will have a massive advantage. They will have more time. They will have more energy. They will have better health. They will save thousands of dollars every year. They will be ahead of the curve while everyone else is still scrambling to understand what is happening. Now let me leave you with a thought that I hope lingers in your mind long after this video ends. Imagine it is the year 2070. You are old now. You are sitting with your grandchildren in a room that has no kitchen. They have never seen an oven. They have never smelled toast burning. They ask you what it was like to grow up in a world where everyone ate 3 meals a day. And you tell them. You tell them about breakfast with your family, about lunch with your coworkers, about dinner parties and holiday feasts. You tell them about the taste of fresh bread and the smell of coffee in the morning. And they look at you with wonder. Not because they are jealous, but because they cannot imagine it. It sounds like magic to them. It sounds like a fairy tale. And you realize in that moment that you are the last generation to remember. You are the bridge between the world of food and the world of fuel. You are the one who experienced both. That is not a sad thought. It is a beautiful one, because it means you got to taste something they never will. But it also means you have the power to choose what matters. You can decide what traditions to carry forward. You can decide what rituals to preserve. You can decide to sit down with your family and share a real meal even when nobody else does. That is your choice. And that choice is the most human thing you will ever make. Thank you for watching this far. If you made it to the end, it means you are genuinely curious about the future, and you are not afraid to question things that everyone else takes for granted. That is a rare quality. Do not lose it. Think for yourself. Question everything. And most importantly, eat when your body asks you to, not when a clock tells you to. And sometimes eat just because it is beautiful. Because it connects you to people you love. Because it reminds you that you are alive. The future is coming. But the present is yours. Make it count. Now before you go, I want to ask you something. Would you give up daily meals if it meant living longer? Would you choose convenience or tradition? Drop your answer in the comments. I genuinely want to know what you think. And if you enjoyed this video, share it with someone who loves food. They might never see it the same way again. I will see you in the next one. Take care of yourself. And remember, the best time to start thinking about the future is right now. But the best time to hug someone and share a meal with them is also right now. Do not forget that.